So I went to film some example footage for like off-roading, being out in the wilderness, particularly the desert, because I was trying to find an old mine site where that had been abandoned. They had a couple of things on there for a promo for a new series. However, this video is How to Drive, Being Prepared, Part 2.
Well, it's 40 below and I don't give a fuck. Got a heater in my truck and I'm off to the rodeo.
Now, with this video, there's going to be a little bit of a reoccurring trend, and you're going to notice it kind of hilariously, and that would be foreshadowing. Just going to let you know that one right now, is because I am poking fun at myself, but it's something that can actually happen to somebody, and I hope this video can actually help somebody out. Be a little bit more prepared and whatnot. But anyhow, let's get into when I started recording earlier in the day. Welcome to another one of Spaztastic's How to Drive. Today's driving is, well, being out in the desert and basic off-roading. Alright, well, I guess this video could really just apply to being basically outdoors in general, and being kind of out in the middle of nowhere in a desolate area. Having a vehicle that, can handle doing these kinds of things. Like, I'm on a flat gravel road right now, and the only reason I'm not going any faster is because I want the camera to be able to pick up the audio of me talking properly, because it's about as loud as it is on the freeway. So, I apologize for the shitty audio. But, I don't think a lot of people have ever bothered to come all the way out in the middle of nowhere, which I'm up in northern Fox River County, and I'm trying to find a ghost town. So that's the reason I'm out here. When it comes to a lot of these flat gravel roads, a majority of vehicles, I'm talking a majority of vehicles, because if you can look, I'll just show you right now the road that's in front of me. I can be going 60 miles an hour down this road. Now, I don't know what's around the next corner, but it's fairly smooth. My vehicle's easily capable of going faster down these kinds of roads. These flat gravel roads ain't that big of a deal, especially when they're long and straight. But if you're driving something like Chevy Silverado or something like that, I don't know what it is about the Silverado and it just sitting there bucking around, or a Toyota Tundra. You know anything about Toyota Tundras? The back of their beds likes to twerk when they get bouncing on these rough roads. Now I'm getting kind of rocky. I could go faster, but I don't want to blow the tires either. So that's the thing. But driving on these flat gravel roads, you can actually have a lot of fun. Now, if you're driving something like a small sedan or a crossover, you could do this kind of stuff in it periodically and you'd be fine. But if you're coming out and you're going out and about, you're like in your CRV and you want to go up in the mountains or you want to go out in the desert and drive down these roads constantly, I'm just going to give you a harsh reality of it. Go buy something American, something American that's like heavy duty built, like a pickup truck or like a full-size SUV or a Nissan Xterra, because the freaking reality of it is that when you're driving around on these roads, them little cars, the crossover SUVs, little sedans, little cars, they don't have the world's toughest suspension. They're meant for city driving, and they'll just fall the fuck apart. I'm just telling you this just so you don't go and spend $20,000 on a car that you really like, just to come out and beat the shit out of it a few times off road, and just to have it just completely disintegrate, the alignment's knocked off. And which goes into, I wouldn't take a micro car out here, like a Veo or a Fiesta, because they have really shitty suspensions under them. You might not be driving in a straight line on your way home, unless you're doing pizza cutter tires, you might blow them out. If you're in a Mitsubishi Mirage, your rear end, you're going to look like you're fucking driving a fucking stock car, because the rear end's all kicked out because of the poor design. But that's not the point here. The point is that if you want to go outdoors, go out and about, people do generally love to go out and about. And you want to go out to a rural area, I got a Dodge Durango. Now, for these flat gravel roads, this vehicle handles it just fine, and it'll continue to handle it just fine. Full-size trucks, Toyota Tacoma. I'm going to piss people off by saying this, but the Toyota Tacoma, depending on where you live, isn't necessarily the best suited vehicle, especially a slightly older one, like after 2002-ish, isn't the best suited to going off-road. Because if you live salt likes to get to them. And I don't know about the brand new Tundras, but Tacomas, they like to have rust issues. And if you're driving around in city streets, they'll be fine for hundreds of thousands of miles. You come driving out here, your front suspension collapses. I'm just telling you how it is. I don't need to back this shit up. I've seen several fucking Toyota Tacomas, T100s. The Tundras I've seen, the engine fell out of it. But I've seen several of them with a collapsed front suspension, and it's because of rust. But coming out and about, it's fun to do. If you come out periodically, it doesn't really matter kind of what you're driving, as long as you're not driving a really city-based car. You know, getting out and about, get 50 miles outside of town, you know, in the middle of nowhere like I am right now. I'm in Box Elder County. I just said that before. It is kind of fun. Now, when I get up to where I want to be, there's supposedly a nasty dirt road up to the ghost town that I'm going up to, and I'll carry on the recording from there. But you know, off-roading's fun. All right, so if you're still watching, cool. Now, after I recorded that, I went up on the mountain, and the mountain I was on was the Hogup Mountains, and I, for some unknown reason, completely forgot where I was at. I mean, it wasn't lost. I just wasn't. I was about 20 miles away from where I wanted to be, and I ended up doing a big circle back. And when I ended up doing a big circle back, there was a little mountain range off to the side of the west side of the Great Salt Lake, or as you want to call it now, the Great Salt Mud Flat, because that's all it was up there. However, you'll see a few clips of that here upcoming. But the only place I didn't get any recordings from was from where I decided to break my car and blow a tire. But anyhow, let's see some clips of off-roading. There's some pretty scenery, so you get some pretty scenery gasms of me off-roading, and then a few hours later, I had issues. And it's kind of funny because right there where I was recording that clip is where I ended up back at, after I had issues. So let's get on with it.
Manual recording will now start.
Another thing I want to throw out when driving on these gravel roads is when you get down to a road where there's a lot of rocks poking out like this, and they're stuck in the road, there's not just loose gravel. This is what I like to call tire blower outers. Is you can fly across these. When you got brand new tires, you're going to be fine, but I have pretty worn tires, and it's still got good tread on them, but flying across this shit kills tires. I just thought I'd throw that little bit in there.
Manual recording will now start.
Well, this is what's left of the Great Salt Lake. The west side of it. Ah, hell. Okay then. Thought it'd be a cool view, and you can see the curvature of the fucking earth. Now I want to throw in something that's a little bit funny because I don't have the clips of when I actually broke my car. And when I say I broke my car, all I did was the bottom shock bolt on my passenger front tire, it just sheared the bolt right off. So I mean, it still worked when the suspension went up. It just didn't do anything when it went down. It made it kind of a little bit of a pain in the ass to drive it home, and it was rattling, and it was kind of annoying. But I wonder what possibly could have caused the shock to fail. tie, I would just cable tie the fucker on and I bet it would work great. Oh, I got a flat tire. Fuck. Alright. I had no intentions of making a video on this since I was doing one on driving off-road. You can see I've had issues. And this is another thing that I actually think this is a better demonstration. I blew this tire right here. I had a nightmare of a time trying to get it off, and what I ended up having to get it off with is sometimes when a wheel gets stuck to a car, you want to hit them with a blunt instrument. This guy right here wasn't good enough to break the wheel off. I actually ended up taking the trailer hitch, which is actually under this little thing right here where I keep all my emergency shit. And I ended up having to pretty much beat the wheel with it like it's a hammer. Pretty convince good blunt instrument. Now, if I take what's left of this wheel, oh god damn it, there's dirt. And there's little dings and dents and shit all over the wheel from where I was beating it with a tire iron. Who would have thought throwing a freaking trailer hitch at it would have got it off? Oh well, that's the thing that's frustrating. But however, my spare tire, which I fucking thought about checking before I left and I never bothered to do it, was at like 15 psi. Which is why I'm glad I have this little piece of shit thing right here from Harbor Freight. You should always have crap like that in your car. You never know, it could save your ass. That little piece of shit saved mine. It only cost me $6. I don't care if it dies right now. Anyhow, I guess if I'm going to do a how to drive off-road thing, I guess it's on being prepared because, you know, it's 85 fucking degrees outside right now, and if I didn't have a gallon of water right now, I'd be dehydrated as fuck. Alright, I figured since I had issues, I really hope that don't blow out. I've had two issues coming out here. One you can hear right now. I have broken a shock bolt on my front end. That's no big deal. It's not going to hurt anything other than if it beats a shock up to $20 to replace a shock, it's going to affect the way the vehicle drives. I had to put a spare tire on, which is fine. It should be good, and there's no weather rotting on or anything. Tire's from 02, but I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. But the reason why I'm recording right now is I want to show you why when you come out prepared that you're good. Like, I'm pretty freaking thirsty right now. I'm pretty well set right now. As long as that tire doesn't blow out by the time I get home or to an area where I can get a new tire, which I'm not going to worry about it unless I start feeling like I'm having issues. I'm not going to haul ass on my way home. I'm just going to cruise back about 75 miles an hour tops. But seeing as that I'm fucking air conditioning on, seeing as that I'm prepared, I'm not screwed. You know, I knew I had a jack in the car. I knew I had a tire iron in the car. Oh, that being said, I'm going to go buy a new jack because that one sucks donkey balls. But yeah, no, something as simple as this. I have food, and I actually have some emergency ration bars. And yeah, if I didn't have all this stuff or know how to do it, and I came out here, I'd be in a world of trouble right now. I mean, there were some nice guys that came over and offered me help as soon as I got fucking done. Now, I'm not holding that against them. That was cool. I think they actually seen me park down here when they were going to turn up the road that's up ahead of me. And instead they pulled on down to see if I needed help. That's cool. That's what you're supposed to do if you ever see anybody in trouble. Because hell, it might be as simple as they have a blown tire, they're getting it taken under control, but they don't have water on them. And you give them a bottle of water could possibly save their life, if not make them a lot happier people. And you know, it's just little crap like that when you're going out off-roading, that I'm not mad right now. It was just probably a bad idea to come out here without doing a pre-trip. I'll get on that when I get home. So come out if you're prepared. Like, I usually like to have 2 gallons of water, but I bought 1. But if I didn't have this, I only had 2 bottles of Mellow Yellow, and so I'm pretty fucking thirsty right now. It's hot out here. I mean, it's 80 plus degrees. This wasn't what I was intending to do to come out here. What I was intending to do when I came out here was to go find a ghost town that's just clear the fuck out there and do a promo for a video series, which I'm going to have to postpone until I get things fixed. Or I could take my dad's truck. But but I didn't really plan that much ahead. Usually when I do this kind of crap, I used to do it the 67 Ford F100, and that truck, regardless of what went on, as long as I had motor oil, which I do actually have 5 quarts of motor oil in the back behind my seat, as long as I had enough motor oil and gas, it'd get me to where I was going. And if not, I'd limp the fucker all the way back to the highway, and I actually did that once when I blew a tire, and this seems to be a reoccurring trend. I think I'm going to go buy some new tires. Anyhow, I'm Spaztastic. You're watching Spaztastic TV. Thank you for watching.
Now, I don't think it's distracted driving, probably to be holding a camera up in front of my face and driving through the viewfinder. No, this is counterproductive and stupid, but there ain't nobody around. I just figured that, you know, I had an issue. I know I'm going off on this, you know, I had an issue, but, you know, it ain't that pretty a scenery out here, but, you know, I'm having a good time. I mean, look, there's still snow on them mountains. I never got to my destination, but I hope I get back to my original destination, or close to it, because there's fucking tire stores. I'm actually probably going to go price out some tires, at least 2 of them, and I'm just going to have the tire guy just determine whatever 2 tires I have on the car that are the best. That was the fucking tire that I had patched. Oh well. Whatever, I'm just going to go on rambling and filming while I'm driving. I really wish I didn't have the tripod little mount thing on the bottom of this, and I wish it wasn't so freaking hot in this car. I mean, the little temperature thing says it's 110 degrees outside, but that's a lie. It's about 85 outside, and about 60% humidity. Yeah, I'm in the middle of the freaking desert, but I just figured, you know, let's check out some scenery. You know, if I had, like, my buddy riding with me, I'd be the one holding the camera in the passenger seat while he was driving. But it's Friday. I don't work Fridays because I work 410s because I have a job that requires I do manual labor. But, no, all in all, today I'm in a really good mood, despite, you know, just having to sweat my ass off. And I think when I get to another area with a really cool view, I'm going to pull the camera back out and do some filming, but I hope you're actually enjoying some of this, because I'm enjoying this. I mean, I really wish that this camera could actually see the same things I am, but I also got to remember that it's scaled down to look through a viewfinder, and but yeah.